on this relationship. I think you spend so much time focused on your business and traveling, and it feels like you trying to get back for me being gone for them 4 years, and now it's time for you to enjoy life, and it started to feel like I'm a single parent. I can't do this by myself.
Yandy has spent years building her image as the ultimate ride or die, loyal, patient, and unshakably committed to Mendeecees through prison time, baby mama drama, and public humiliation. But now, that image is starting to crack. Out of nowhere, Mendeecees' own son has seemingly flipped the script by leaking what some are calling real receipts, receipts that may prove Yandy hasn't been as faithful as she claims. And the most shocking part? The receipts were part of a YouTube prank gone wrong, and the word cheater was written across Yandy's G-Wagon. What started as a joke is unraveling into something deeper, something darker, and fans are asking, was Erica right all along? Has Yandy been playing the long game, staying in a fake marriage just to protect the bag? Is she cheating, or is this just karma coming full circle? Let's break it all down, because the truth might leave you speechless. When Mendeecees Jr. decided to pull a prank on his stepmother Yandy, he thought it would just be another viral moment, another clip to boost views on his YouTube channel, another harmless laugh between family. What he didn't expect was to ignite a firestorm of allegations, suspicions, and exposed secrets that would send shockwaves through the love and hip-hop world and put Yandy's entire marriage under a microscope. What started as a joke might have just exposed one of the biggest scandals in Yandy and Mendeecees' messy relationship history. It all began with a video posted to Lil Mendeecees' YouTube channel. In it, he films himself sneaking outside to write cheater in bold letters across the side of Yandy's white G-Wagon using washable paint. He laughs, jokes with his friend behind the camera, and sets the stage for what he clearly thought would be a harmless prank. But when Yandy walked outside and saw it, she didn't laugh, she didn't smile, she didn't play along. What she did was reveal a glimpse of something raw, something unfiltered, and maybe something very real. Her face dropped, her tone shifted. The camera caught it all, the panic, the anger, the defensiveness. "There's some things you don't play with," she said, "and this is one of them." She scolded Lil Mendeecees, forced him to wash her car inside and out, and announced that he'd be working at the family restaurant the next morning as punishment. The moment was meant to be comedic discipline, but viewers weren't laughing. They were dissecting her reaction frame by frame. Because her reaction wasn't just upset, it was suspicious. She didn't deny the word on the car. She didn't joke it off or say, "I'm no cheater." Instead, she locked into defense mode, and that's when the internet started talking. Comments flooded in. Why did she get so mad? Struck a nerve? She didn't laugh 'cause it's true. That boy knows something we don't. And just like that, a single prank turned into a full-blown scandal. People started pulling receipts, past interviews, old clips, social media posts. It didn't take long before fans began piecing together a narrative that many had whispered about. But no one dared say out loud that maybe, just maybe, Yandy wasn't the loyal wife she always claimed to be. That maybe her relationship with Mendeecees had crumbled long ago, and all that was left was a brand. Let's backtrack. Yandy and Mendeecees first got together in 2008. They made their Love and Hip Hop debut as one of the most put-together couples on the show. When Mendeecees went to prison, Yandy held him down like a soldier. She raised his kids. She kept the lights on. She kept his name clean. She built a brand around loyalty, black love, ride or die, stand by your man. But cracks had been showing for years. Let's start with the wedding. Back in 2015, Yandy and Mendeecees aired their wedding on national TV, a full televised spectacle. But shortly after, Yandy admitted that the marriage wasn't legally binding. No paperwork had been filed. The reason? She said it was because she didn't want to be responsible for Mendeecees' legal debts. On one hand, it was a smart business move. On the other, it was a clear sign that she was always thinking 2 steps ahead and 1 foot out the door. Fast forward to Mendeecees getting out of prison in 2020. The reunion was awkward. Mendeecees seemed distant. He didn't wear his wedding ring. He admitted on national television that he didn't know if he would have held Yandy down the same way she held him. It was a jaw-dropping moment, one that made even the most loyal fans question everything. From there, it only got worse. Mendeecees began traveling more. He stopped showing up in Yandy's posts. He was spotted at events solo. Whispers of him cheating began circulating again. Yandy didn't address them directly, but her energy changed. She stopped smiling. She stopped talking about her marriage the way she used to. She started moving more like a single businesswoman than a married woman. And now, with Lil Mendeecees casually writing cheater on her car, the internet is asking, was it just a joke or was it a confession? See, the thing about children is they hear everything. They're in the room when parents are whispering. They see the texts. They hear the late-night arguments. And they know the truth, even if they don't say it out loud. Which is why people weren't so quick to write this off as a prank. Because kids don't make up accusations like that unless they've seen something. And let's not forget Erica, who has always been vocal about Yandy's hypocrisy. She warned people about how Yandy plays perfect on the outside, but moves very differently when the cameras are off. Erica has long claimed that Yandy's entire relationship was performative, that she was always more concerned with controlling the narrative than living in the truth. And now, Erica's name is trending again. Fans are saying she might have been right all along. Some are even speculating that Yandy has already emotionally checked out of the relationship and is only staying for appearances, that she's tired of playing the loyal wife when her husband constantly disrespects her, and that maybe, just maybe, she decided it was time for her to step out too. Of course, there's no confirmed affair, no official
So I came out.
Oh yeah, I didn't even snap that. Hold on.
And let me show you.
They did that dirty, just
So I came out here ready to go bananas. You hear me? Bananas. So then, after I was ready to go bananas, this is who I see. This is who I see in the cut with this guy here. With that.
But the internet doesn't need confirmation when the body language is loud and the vibes are off. Yandy's reaction to the prank didn't just go viral, it became a symbol, a sign that the truth might be closer than we think. And this is just the beginning, because if Lil Mendeecees really knows more than he let on, and if other people in Yandy's circle start talking, we might be looking at the unraveling of one of reality TV's most polished brands. And this time, Yandy may not be able to control the narrative. If there's one thing that's clear in the world of reality TV, it's that image is everything. And Yandy Smith has curated hers with surgical precision. For years, she's stood as the blueprint for what a strong, independent, supportive Black woman should look like in a chaotic relationship. Holding Mendeecees down through a prison sentence, raising his children like her own, and carrying her brand with grace. That was her role. But now, that image is cracking wide open, and fans are seeing a very different version of Yandy. One that might not be so loyal after all. The prank that started it all, her stepson scrawling cheater across her G-Wagon, was written off by some as a joke gone wrong. But others saw it for what it really was, a warning shot, a signal that there's tension in the household, and Lil Mendeecees might be exposing more than he realizes. You don't call someone a cheater, not even as a joke, unless there's been a conversation, a whisper, a slip-up, something real. And if we're being honest, the signs have been there. Let's take it back to the ring, or rather, the lack of one. When Mendeecees came home from prison, Yandy expected a fresh start, a clean slate. But what she got instead was a man who couldn't or wouldn't commit. He refused to put his wedding ring back on. On national television, he looked his wife in the face and said, "There's no love here, not the way it used to be." Those weren't just words. That was a man letting his guard down and exposing the truth behind their curated Instagram smiles. He was disconnected, emotionally distant, and maybe retaliating. Yandy had spent 4 years building her life in his absence, expanding her businesses, managing artists, filming for the show, and becoming the breadwinner in every sense of the word. And when Mendeecees came home, he didn't walk into a quiet household that missed him. He walked into a fully functioning empire, one that didn't need him. That bruised his ego deeply. And instead of expressing that, he acted out. He stopped wearing the ring. He started disappearing for hours. And the rumors of him stepping out came fast and furious. Yandy denied them publicly, but in private, she was crumbling. Friends close to the couple revealed that Yandy had grown tired of playing catch-up, that she was exhausted trying to prove she still needed a man who no longer showed her the love or respect she deserved. And here's where the conversation shifts. Because while everyone's focused on whether Yandy cheated, no one's asking the real question: what pushed her there? No, cheating is never justified. But in a relationship as complicated, unbalanced, and public as Yandy and Mendeecees, nothing happens in a vacuum. For years, Yandy sacrificed for this man, only to be told her efforts were no longer enough. He questioned her independence, felt insecure about her growth, and slowly, the resentment grew between them. When Mendeecees told her he wouldn't have stayed if the roles were reversed, if she had gone to prison, fans were shocked. But for Yandy, that wasn't new information. She already knew. She'd always known. And from that moment forward, everything changed. She stopped defending him as hard. She stopped showing up as much. And she started living like someone who was no longer trying to be someone's wife, but someone finally trying to be herself. And that's what brings us to now. Because insiders are saying that the distance between Yandy and Mendeecees has only grown. They sleep in separate rooms when filming wraps. They vacation apart. And Yandy, for all her public declarations of loyalty, has allegedly been leaning on someone new. Quietly, carefully, and just under the radar. This someone isn't a reality star. He's not a rapper. He's a businessman. Connected, low profile, and the opposite of Mendeecees in every way. Word is, he's been around for a while. At first, just as a friend, then a business mentor, then something more. He's been spotted at her events, seen leaving locations minutes after she does, and even reportedly traveled to the same city for a conference when Yandy was on a business trip. Coincidence? Maybe. But fans aren't buying it, especially after the G-Wagon prank, which many now believe was a reaction to whispers Lil Mendeecees may have overheard. Maybe a phone call, maybe a conversation, maybe a moment he walked in on and wasn't supposed to see. Whatever it was, it stuck with him enough to write that word. Cheater, bold, clear, and now permanently etched into the timeline of this messy marriage. Meanwhile, Mendeecees hasn't addressed the situation publicly. He's been quieter on social media, focused more on posting vague motivational quotes than family photos. Some say he's hurt, others say he's embarrassed, but whatever he's feeling, it's clear that the tables have turned. Because for years, Yandy was the one defending, forgiving, and holding it together. Now, she's the one being accused. And fans are watching this role reversal unfold with a mix of shock, satisfaction, and sadness. Because as much as people love the drama, they also remember the love story. The way Yandy used to fight for her family. The way Mendeecees once looked at her like she was his entire world. But time changes everything. And loyalty, when pushed too far, begins to break. So now the internet's asking, did Yandy cheat? Or did she finally realize she was never in a real marriage to begin with? Because let's not forget, the wedding wasn't even legal. There was never paperwork filed, no legal documentation. Just a televised ceremony for fans, followers, and image. Yandy never married Mendeecees on paper, and now some believe she never married him in spirit either. So what happens next? Is this just the beginning of Yandy's villain era? Will Mendeecees finally speak up? Will more receipts leak? Or is this simply the long overdue unraveling of a relationship that ended years ago and just kept going for the sake of TV? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over, and the receipts, they're still leaking. As the online storm gained traction, fans and critics alike turned their attention to the one thing that could either confirm or crush the accusations, the receipts. And guess what? They came, slowly in fragments, and not all from Yandy or Mendeecees directly, but piece by piece. The story that began with a childish prank started looking a lot more like a carefully veiled truth. First, someone leaked a video clip from one of Yandy's recent out-of-town business trips. In it, she's seen exiting a luxury hotel lobby in Houston, Texas, wearing all black, looking relaxed, and walking right beside a tall man in designer sweats and a hoodie pulled low over his face. The man wasn't Mendeecees. He also wasn't one of her regular security or staff. And while no one caught them doing anything explicit, the body language was telling. Two people moving like they had something to protect. The man was later identified through tagged photos as a private investor who had partnered with Yandy on a beauty and wellness line she's quietly launching outside of love and hip-hop. A man with no TV fame, no rapper energy, and no ties to Yandy's inner circle prior to Mendeecees' incarceration. They were first spotted together at a wellness conference in Atlanta 6 months ago. Since then, he's appeared in the background of more than a few of Yandy's non-show-related events. Now, here's the catch. Mendeecees wasn't anywhere near any of those trips. Receipts from the hotel stay matched Yandy's travel dates. A dinner reservation under the man's name at a Houston rooftop bar, same weekend. More suspicious? Fans noticed that during the trip, Yandy never posted anything from her room, a habit she usually kept. Everything was polished, generic, businesslike. It screamed curated, like someone trying to keep things quiet. And then came the voice note, allegedly leaked from someone close to Mendeecees. It featured what sounded like him venting to a friend. The voice is frustrated, low, and tired. "I don't care what she do no more," it said. "Let her have that man. I'm tired of pretending for them cameras." The voice wasn't confirmed, but the internet didn't need confirmation. The tone matched his recent energy. Distant, removed, checked out. Meanwhile, Yandy kept moving like nothing was happening. Still posting motivational quotes. Still dropping branded photo shoots. Still running her businesses. But what fans noticed most wasn't what she was posting. It's what she wasn't. No Mendeecees, no family photos, no throwbacks, nothing tying her to the man she once cried for on national TV. And Lil Mendeecees, he wasn't done either. On his YouTube channel, he uploaded another video, responding to the backlash from the cheater prank. He insisted it was a joke, that he didn't mean anything by it. that it was just to get views. But halfway through the video, something strange happened. A moment where his eyes darted off camera and he said, "I mean, people gonna find out anyway, so it don't matter." Find out what? That one comment reignited the speculation. Viewers flooded the comments. Did this boy just admit something without admitting it? He knows the truth. Look at how nervous he got. Yandy better check her circle before more gets out. And just like that, all eyes were back on Yandy, but this time, not just as the long-suffering wife. Now, she was the woman possibly living a double life. The one who, after years of loyalty and silence, may have decided that Mendeecees wasn't worth the tears anymore, and fans were divided. Some praised her. She deserves to be happy. He humiliated her too many times. Others dragged her. She made a brand off loyalty. If she cheated, she's no better. But one group was the loudest, the ones who said Erica had warned us all from the start. Erica had always been vocal about Yandy's contradictions. The way she paints herself as above the drama, but always manages to be in the center of it. The way she preaches about loyalty and respect, but constantly throws shade at other women for the same mistakes she forgives in her man. And now, Erica's claims seemed a little less like hate and a lot more like prophecy. Because if there's one thing this situation revealed, it's that the picture-perfect version of Yandy might have always been just that. A picture, carefully posed, filtered, branded for public consumption. But behind the curtain, a woman fed up, burned out, and maybe finally ready to do what Mendeecees had done for years, put herself first. And then came the final leak, a screenshot of an alleged text conversation between Yandy and an unnamed contact. The messages were blurry, incomplete, but damning. They showed someone labeled J texting Yandy, "You free after the event? Can't wait to see you." To which Yandy allegedly responded, "I'll text you when I'm in the car. He's not coming tonight." Fans speculated J stood for the same investor Yandy had been seen traveling with. While Yandy hasn't confirmed or denied the texts, the damage is done. The seed is planted, the brand is bruised, and the narrative she built for over a decade, crumbling in real time. Mendeecees hasn't posted a single photo of Yandy since the scandal broke. No captions, no defenses, no statements, just silence. And that silence, it's louder than anything. The love story that once defined loyalty for an entire generation of love and hip-hop fans has become a cautionary tale. A reminder that behind every staged wedding and Instagram caption, there are real people with real secrets, trying to hold it all together while the cameras roll. And now, the truth is catching up with them. By the time the fourth wave of rumors hit, the damage was irreversible. What started as a prank had become a scandal, and what fans once called relationship goals was now exposed as a ticking time bomb of mistrust, betrayal, and emotional neglect. Yandy and Mendeecees were no longer just a couple on reality TV. They had become the latest cautionary tale for what happens when brand loyalty outruns real-life love. Mendeecees had stopped pretending. The distance between him and Yandy was now so obvious, even the castmates were picking sides behind the scenes. Producers were already adjusting storylines, prepping to pivot their couple's arc from power pair to fallout in real time. And the cameras weren't the only ones capturing the mess. Social media sleuths were relentless, digging deeper into both Mendeecees and Yandy's recent movements. More leaked footage came to light, including a scene that had allegedly been cut from an earlier season of Love and Hip Hop. In the clip filmed months before the prank, Mendeecees confides in a friend that he was tired of fighting for something that don't fight for me. He said Yandy was always on the go, always making decisions without him, and always more focused on her image than their marriage. He said, "I feel like I'm just here to be her prop, not her partner." That clip reignited everything. Fans who once questioned Yandy's commitment now started to believe Mendeecees had been crying for help long before Lil M scrawled that infamous word on her G-Wagon. But at the same time, critics pointed out that Mendeecees had created this environment. The infidelity, the gaslighting, the emotional abandonment. How could he expect loyalty after dragging Yandy through 4 years of prison, side chick drama, and televised humiliation? Still, it seemed the tide was shifting. Yandy wasn't just being seen as the hurt wife anymore. She was being portrayed as emotionally unavailable, cold, and maybe even vindictive. Her empowerment posts were now being read as self-serving. Her boss moves, once admired, now painted her as someone who left her man behind the moment she didn't need him. Then came the family fallout. Lil Mendeecees, now at the center of the storm, posted yet another cryptic Instagram story, a black screen with white letters. "Truth don't need a microphone, just time." That was all it took for the internet to light up again. Fans were convinced he had more to say. Some speculated that he had walked in on Yandy with the alleged J. Others said he'd overheard conversations between his father and uncles. A few even accused Yandy of keeping secrets from Mendeecees' other kids. Then, the bombshell. A former assistant who worked with Yandy on her business line came forward anonymously, claiming that Yandy had been emotionally checked out of her marriage for over a year. The assistant claimed that during a trip to LA, Yandy openly referred to her husband as just the father of her kids, not her man. She also allegedly said she was tired of babysitting a grown man. According to the assistant, Yandy was already mentally out of the marriage before the prank ever happened, and the only reason she stayed was for appearances and contractual obligations. It was the final nail. Now, blogs weren't asking if Yandy cheated. They were exploring why she hadn't already left. Some pointed to the fact that she never legalized her marriage as the ultimate red flag, that Yandy had always left the back door open just in case. Others said she'd been planning her exit for years, slowly separating her brand, her businesses, and her real life from the relationship fans believed in. And Erica? Oh, she was having her moment. After years of warning people about Yandy's double standards, the receipts were finally proving her right. She posted a subtle but savage tweet. Funny how time always tells. No names, no tags, but everyone knew who it was aimed at. The internet had started to crown her the unlikely truth teller of the franchise. For once, Erica wasn't just being messy, she was being accurate. Back at the Frost household, Rashida even commented on the drama during a live stream. She didn't go deep, but when asked about Yandy, she paused before saying, "Everybody got their own storms to weather. I just hope she don't drown in silence." A shady but poignant reminder that even her longtime allies were watching from a distance now. Yandy, for her part, remained calculated. No public statement, no tearful live. Just carefully curated posts about her skincare line, her children, and motivational quotes that seemed almost too perfectly timed. But fans saw through it. This is what detachment looks like. She already moved on emotionally. We're just catching up. No one stays this calm unless they've already made peace with the consequences. The comment sections under her posts grew more divided. Some still supported her. Others demanded answers. But one comment summed it up best. "You spent years being the symbol of loyalty. Now you can't even say you didn't cheat? Girl, the silence is loud." And Mendeecees, he was done playing nice. At a private event in Atlanta, he was heard telling someone, "I ain't never been perfect, but I ain't fake." That line alone told the story. He wasn't begging her to stay. He wasn't trying to salvage the image. He was done protecting her. And that's where things stand. Yandy and Mendeecees, once the face of loyalty, now the blueprint for disillusionment. The son who started it all with one word on a luxury vehicle, still quiet, still watching, still dropping clues without ever confirming what he knows. And the public? We're left wondering how many more receipts are out there, and how long before someone drops the final one that ends this story for good. Because if there's one thing we've learned from this scandal, it's that when the cameras stop rolling, the real show begins. So now the question isn't whether Yandy cheated, it's whether the truth even matters anymore. The loyalty, the marriage, the brand, all of it is unraveling right before our eyes. And with Lil Mendeecees dropping hints, the internet connecting the dots, and Erica finally getting her "I told you so" moment, it's clear this situation is deeper than a simple scandal. It's about pride, survival, and the image of a woman who spent years playing loyal, only to possibly flip the script when no one was watching. What do you think? Was Yandy really cheating? Or is this just payback in disguise for everything Mendeecees put her through? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we've got more tea coming that you absolutely won't want to miss. This saga is far from over.